Hey there folks! In the past I've done a lot of videos focusing on dropper rigs for kokanee, so today I thought I would take a day and just focus on sort of the basics of using a downrigger for kokanee. So today I'm going to be using my Canon lake troll and a 6-pound downrigger ball to target kokanee on this lake. Now downriggers are most effective when coupled with a fish finder, or a sonar. You'll need to use the sonar for a couple things. First is to identify at what depth the fish are holding, but it also is going to give you your depth so that you're not dragging that downrigger ball on the bottom and potentially snagging it up. So it gives you really tight control over where you're fishing and allows you to really zero in on those fish. So there's a large school of kokanee at 30-ish feet. So that'd be a good place to start with the downrigger. And now I'm going to drop my downrigger ball and my gear directly on top of those fish. Now using your fish finder is definitely key in this. You can see the downrigger ball here. Here's some fish slightly above it. But having this coupled with your downrigger allows you to really dial in exactly at what depth you want to target. I'm still going to deploy a dropper rig here on my left. Oop, there's fish. First fish of the day comes on a dropper. Nice. Good sized kokanee. It's a nice sized kokanee. There's fish. Nice. Feels like a decent one. So there are two primary types of downriggers that are available. That is manual downriggers like the one I have here, and then there are electric downriggers which will retrieve the ball for you up. And those power ones are really nice because it allows you to basically have that ball on the way up while you're fighting your fish. You can just push a button, whereas I tend to leave mine down and deal with it after I got a fish in the boat. Oh, nope, it's gonna be a rainbow. That's okay though, we'll let them go. Water temps are not too bad on the surface, just low 70s. Alright, calm down, buddy. So yes, obviously the power downriggers offer an advantage because it makes it easier to bring your ball up and down versus having to crank it up. But there is a cost advantage and a size advantage to the manuals, which tend to be more compact and a lot more affordable. Usually about 25% to 50% the price of a power downrigger. So what advantage does a downrigger offer? Well, basically the role and job of a downrigger is to allow you to precisely target a specific depth and know exactly where you're fishing. So, you know, with my dropper rigs, I get lots of questions about, well, how deep am I if I'm using this much weight, trolling this much speed? And there's a lot of variability. I mean, part of that's the advantage of dropper rigs rather than a downrigger is that I feel like they hunt because they move up and down through the water column. But if you need to target a specific depth, a downrigger offers a surefire way to do that. And also you get the advantage of fighting the fish without having a big chunk of lead on the line. This is a nice kokanee. Come here, buddy. There we go. Decent. There's fish. Nice. That's a big one. Try a short setback. Typically I'm going to do a 30 or 40 foot setback. That's usually good enough for me. But sometimes a short setback helps because when you make sharp turns, it causes that dodger to drop a little more acutely. And that can trigger that bite. And I've gotten most of my kokanee bites today on droppers, which are actually better at hunting up and down through the water column than a downrigger is. Maybe this is the solution. Fish right there. Nice. Well, with a tighter setback. See if this actually converts it into a kokanee on the Downrigger. I change out my Downrigger line to braid. They generally come with steel. What do we got here? I see lots of speckles. It's a rainbow, of course. It's been the bane of my existence this year, these rainbows. Actually, that is a kokanee. What am I talking about? They just start to develop those spots when they're spawning. Look at that. I'm pleasantly surprised with a kokanee. Check that out. That's what you get when you just discount your kokanee for rainbows. But as I was saying, I changed mine out to braid. I like the braid because it's a little bit safer for me in a kayak if I were to get wrapped in it for some reason, if the kayak were to roll. I can cut it, but I also feel like it's quieter as well. It doesn't make the hum that those steel cables make. So I use 150-pound braid. So this tighter setback seemed to have worked. So what I'm referring to when I'm referring to the setback, it's how much line am I letting out before I clip into the Downrigger. Now a lot of powerboat anglers will go way back because they're worried about the noise that their motor makes and kokanee avoiding the boat, which is a valid concern. With a kayak, or if you're trolling with an electric trolling motor, it's probably less of a concern. But like I said, sometimes that tighter setback, you actually get more acute drops. If you have a long setback and you make a turn, then that just allows that gentle turn. It doesn't allow the dodger to fall up and down through or rise up through the water column. Okay, let's talk about clips. Now there's a bunch of different clips on the market. This Canon came with one that has adjustable tension, but really these tiny little Scotty minis are just absolutely perfect, almost foolproof. You just put them all the way down at the bottom of the clip, and they're just right for this kokanee sized and trout sized gear. So I wouldn't recommend any other clips. I know everybody has their favorite clips, but I find that the Scotty minis are just where it's at. There's fish. Nice. Now for most kokanee fisheries, a 4 or 6 pound downrigger ball is going to be all you need. You can go with 4 if you're going to especially be fishing anything 50 foot or less. If you chase those really deep kokanee, then a 6 pound ball is probably going to be a better option for you in terms of reducing the amount of blowback. Nice fish. I think shortening up that dropper, or that setback, actually helped quite a bit. There we go. Now if you have a power downrigger, then I guess it doesn't really matter. You can go with a heavier one. But do realize the lighter you go, the more blowback you're going to get. Oh, these things are fat. There we go. Not a bad fish. So this is a 6 pound ball right here. And I have a 4 pound back here just for backup. You can see the size difference. This is really good for your kayaks that you're not so sure about the mounts and you don't want to put a lot of strain on the mount. A little 4 pound downrigger ball is perfect. But I think this does go to show you really got to play around with those setbacks. I actually found this past spring at Detroit that I was doing terrible with a long setback, and then I started shortening my setback up. I was pretty much running like a 7 or 8 foot setback off the downrigger ball. Today I'm doing like 10 foot, and that seems to be making a difference. Always watch for that rod tip, that tip wrap when you're dropping your downrigger, because that is how you break tips off of rods. I haven't done it yet, but I have come very close. And then basically, I like to run you can run a rod off of a rod holder that's built into the downrigger, but I actually like to run mine forward. This lets me just see the action on the rod. You want to load this up tight so you can see that action on there. You'll see that rod tip bounce when you get a fish on. If it's behind you, you'll miss it potentially. So I like having it so I can see it. Feels like a good one. This is a really nice kokanee. Oh, don't do that. Got him. Downriggers taking off now. Nice fish. One of the things you'll notice is that when you buy your clips new, oftentimes they have very short distances from the clip that goes onto the downrigger ball to the clip that you clip onto your line. I make mine custom and I make them a couple feet long. This makes it easier for me to just sit in the chair and clip in without having to reach far over the kayak and make it tippy. But also that extra slack makes it a lot easier to detect the bite because it allows the rod to slap a little bit harder against the downrigger ball, and that makes that easy to detect those bites, especially when you're fishing really deep, and it makes it a lot more difficult to detect, especially when you get a small kokanee on the downrigger line. Oop, gee, there's a hit. That was a big hit. You know when they unclip, they're a nice fish. Oh my gosh, it's a giant kokanee. That's a huge fish. This lake. Got him. Oh, he just came off. Right in the net. Perfect. Oh, I got another one going on over here. Jeez. This feels like a nice fish too. Did you see that thing pop off? That was crazy. It's also another nice kokanee. Not as big as this guy. Oh, just jacked myself in the face. Okay, let's see if we can make this happen. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come on. Got them both. Look at that. That is awesome. Well, I think that about covers everything I'm going to cover today with downriggers for kokanee and trout. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section below. I'll put links to all the clips and downriggers that I use and rod holders, just so you guys can reference. And I'll see you out on the water next time. And just remember, fish smarter, not harder. Bye, guys.